I don't know if you ever noticed, but people don't really know what works. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about business or you talk about your personal life, your family, or your relationships. There is no such a manual that is going to be universal and work for everyone. Oh, like my kids turn out fine. That must be something that I done right. But what was that? So I call this a profound ignorance. On another hand, there are things to not to do, and they seem to be much more universal. For instance, if you do have a strategy, you have a vision, and you have a goal, then there is a chance that you'll get there. There is a chance that you will succeed. But then if you don't have a vision, if you don't have a strategy, if you don't have a goal, then you 99.9% will fail unless you win the lottery or something magical happens. So it seems like there is way more value and weight into the things not to do rather than things to do. And I really believe in that myself. And just like Fyodor Dostoevsky said, that the greatest happiness is to find the source of unhappiness. And whether you believe in that or not, whether you agree with this or not, but it all comes down to your mindset. At the end of the day, it is your mindset that is a key to how successful, how fulfilling, how passionate your life is going to be. How well are your relationships going to flow? How much are you going to accomplish at your career or your business? How healthy mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically are you going to be? All comes down to your mindset. And what's stopping us? Like, what is preventing us to live happier, to be able to tap into our potential? And it's our limiting beliefs. And I can divide them in 3 categories to make it easier to sort of break down and really dwell into and understand. The first one is our limiting beliefs about our own self. This is our story that we tell ourselves and been telling ourselves for many, many years. Maybe it came from our childhood. Maybe our parents been telling us. Maybe this is a conclusion that we made based on the experience that we had in life. Maybe it's a society. Maybe it came from school. Doesn't really matter. But typically it's been formed back in the days, and we keep telling that same story to our own self. We're sort of hosting a pity party, whining like why things are happening to us, why this keeps happening to me, why me, like my life is tough, like why my life is suck. And I'm sure you meet people like that because they're normally really verbal about it. Some people keep it to themselves, but those limiting beliefs are even deeper wired because they're scared to talk about them because it's too vulnerable, it's too sensitive, it's too personal. And most of the time it comes down to the thought of not being worthy or don't deserve things. So it's all associated with having a low self-esteem and undervaluing your own self. And it doesn't really have to be always whining and crying. For instance, I had a period of my life where I was hosting that limiting belief about my own self. At one time in my life, I started getting into emergency room quite frequently. And after a few times I end up there, I just start laughing about it and saying like, hey, that's me. That's what's happening to me. I wouldn't cry about it. I didn't feel bad about it. I didn't feel pity about myself. But I would repeat this story to myself. I would not be surprised to end up in the emergency room. So I made it a part of my identity, and now I would keep ending up in emergency rooms. And once I stopped doing that, once I literally told myself that I decide that right now, this is not a part of my life, this is not me, and I will be truly, honestly surprised if from now on I'm gonna end up in the emergency room. And I'm not saying that this is a magical protection shield that's been protecting me from not getting into, hospitals or emergencies or anything like that. But I eliminated that belief. I excluded it from my identity. And now I really will be surprised if I will end up there. So it's not my norm anymore. The second category of limiting beliefs are beliefs about other people. And it all comes down to giving your personal power to another person, assigning the responsibility for your life, for your actions to other people. This is when we feel like we're not in control because things are being done to us, for us, against us. So if your boss asks you to stay overtime and you feel like he's overpowering you, that you don't have a choice, then I want to reassure you that you do have a choice. You don't have to stay there. Yes, will be consequences, but there is a choice. And no one told you that, your choices in life are going to be easy. No, they're not easy, but it is your choice. And if the choice is tough and if it's hard for you to make a decision, it really doesn't give you a right to, to place the responsibility for this decision to another person. You are a powerful human being. And no one is in control of your emotions. No one is in control of your actions. Yes, your mother-in-law may not be the greatest person in the world, but then it's up to you how you react to this. Once you understand this, once you get along with an idea that you are the one responsible, you're the one in power, your life is going to get much better. Yes, you will have to take responsibility, but then you will feel that power. You will feel that you are in control. And the third belief is a limiting belief about the world around us. For some reason, subconsciously, maybe we don't even realize that, we have this belief that world owe us something. That if we're going to be good human beings, if we're going to be working hard, it's going to give us back. It's going to give us that success. It's going to give us that happiness. Because we like to believe that world is fair. And it may sound harsh, but we need to really get along with an idea that world is not fair. But then on another hand, if you're always being unhappy, if you always feel yourself that you're not lucky enough, that you don't have something that other people have, then you're not doomed to stay there. Because world is not fair. World doesn't really owe you anything. It's not going to come to you and give you a medal for being, an honest and good human being. But once again, because you are the master of your mind, you have the power of making choice and making decisions in your life. Then you can build the world that is suitable for you, that fulfills you, that gives you the sense of passion and mission and fulfillment. Think about it. Just give it a moment and think about it. Think about these 3 beliefs in your life. What is the story that you've been telling to yourself? Maybe, you think that you're not smart enough. That's why you're not asking for that raise. Or you're not asking for the promotion. Or maybe you feel like you don't have some qualities that you need to have in order to start your business. Or maybe you think that you're not pretty enough, and that's why you're not going after that, guy or girl. What is the belief that you hold about other people around you? Who is that person that you gave your personal power to? It can be your parent, it can be your partner, it can be your lover, it can be your boss, your teacher, whoever. But find that person and then mentally Tell yourself that you are in control, you have the power, and you can choose how you're going to react and what you're going to do. And then think about that belief about the world that you have. Think that through, spend a moment, and then practice the opposite of this belief. Practice the alternative. This is how you master your mind.